Good morning, everybody. This is Tappan, North Dakota. We stayed here tonight. We stopped our walk about 6 miles west of here. We'll be going back to there to pick up our walk from where we left off last night. As you can see, we've had a little bit of rain early this morning. Woke up about 4:30 and it was raining pretty hard. But that's what it's like out here in North Dakota this year. We've had a lot of rain for the first time in a few years. This is one of the coolest Augusts that I've ever seen up here in this part of the country. It's just nice to see green grass right now. There's been many years where this time of the year we've seen the grass hasn't been quite as green. Anyway, I was thinking last night about a lot of different things. We stopped at our just at the end of our day yesterday. Had walked the last mile, and I looked off in the ditch behind us, and there was some riders on their horses riding down the ditch alongside the interstate. So we waited for them to catch up, and we had a good conversation with them. It was 4 kids and 2 adult men. Their last name was Foff up here they're from Tappan here. And I'll tell you what, being farmers and ranchers themselves, they understand what it's like to live free out here. Now, where else in the world can you go and ride horses right down alongside the interstate? And they're worried about our country too, as we got into our talk about things. And there again, they don't know exactly what to do or who to turn to, because we have no real leadership in our country right now. Whether it be the Republican Party or the Democratic Party, well, the Democratic Party has a leadership, but is it the right kind of leadership? I've said before that my mother was a lifelong Democrat, and I believe she would have been running from this Democratic Party as far left as it's gone, as far socialist as it's become. But I'll tell you, when you don't have leadership, it's kind of hard to find people to turn to. So what do? Well, the only thing I can think of is rally around the flag, because that's what our country, that symbolizes our country and the founding fathers and what it put forth when they wrote the Constitution. We may not have leaders, but we do have values and principles that we can rally around, and they're all summed up in that flag. I want to thank each and every one of you who sent emails to me or called me. We had a guy call me sometime yesterday. He was leaving Bismarck yesterday afternoon, and he had gotten my number and email address and such, and he just called me and said, "I'm heading that way. Do you need anything?" Well, man, I'll tell you what, that gives a man faith. Faith in the American people. Is some guy who doesn't know me, has just heard about me on the news, or a card was passed to him, and he just calls and says, "Do you need anything?" Now, what kind of people is that? There's a man who, with the American spirit in him, who wants to help somebody and understands what I'm walking for. And there are so many of you out there, and you wonder what to do. Well, if you called me or email me or watch my YouTubes, you're doing something. and I'm grateful for that. And it's a start. It's a start back to the values and principles that we all hold as true Americans. Americans who want to go back to the limited government, to lower taxes, to better leadership. Let's get rid of the judicial activism. Let's get rid of the big money out of government. Let's go to term limits, where one person or one group, the damage can be limited if we go to term limits. I'll tell you what, the farther I get down the line here, the farther I walk, the more faith I have in the American people, at least out west here, in the Middle West, upper Middle West. These are people who are used to solving their own problems and not relying on government to solve our problems. If the people are given a chance, we can solve the problems. We don't need big government to solve our problems because we're pretty inventive out here. We're pretty individualistic. We're pretty self-sufficient when it comes to a lot of things. Sure, we need help sometimes, or some of us need help sometimes, but that's when we either turn to our churches or our neighbors or our local community, the people that we grew up around. To me, that's what America is about. It's not about big government. We want as little government in our lives as possible, because we think that government, all it does is cause trouble, cause problems. It becomes so complicated that people can't understand what's happening. And to me, that's America, the individual, the people out here who can do things on their own. Well, if you're interested in keeping up with my walk, email me at woodsman6119@yahoo.com. That's woodsman6119@yahoo.com. WOODSMAN 6119@yahoo.com. If you email me, I'll send you a link to the new website a man named Wes built for me a couple of days ago. I don't have it memorized at this point in time. I've only been there a couple times, but please, let's stand up for our beliefs. Let's do what our founding fathers did and live according to the values and principles that they brought forth when they built our nation from the very ground up. So for right now, I'm going to close this, and God bless you and God bless America.